Hi, I'm Nina Pierce.
I'm Maya. And I'm Ella.
Welcome to Conversations with Kids. I have a bachelor's in psychology, a master's in education, and what I feel like should be a doctorate in parenting. Personal development has made a huge impact in my life over the last few years. And while I would love for my kids to read or listen to their own personal development, whenever I make a suggestion, they roll their eyes. So instead, we have conversations between ourselves about the different personal development topics. And we welcome you to join our conversations. Welcome to today's podcast. The girls and I wanted to come on here and honestly just have an open conversation about our thoughts and what is going on today as we're speaking, June 2nd. It's Blackout Tuesday on social media in support of George Floyd, and just lots of things on our minds. And the easy thing to do is to sit back and watch it and listen. And I know we need to listen, but the easy thing to do while we watch and listen and observe is to stay silent. And I don't know everything. I don't have the words necessarily, but I also know that I can't stay silent because this is something that it hits me. It hits me in a way that it's hard to describe. And I know if it hits me in this way, then it hits my kids in this way as well. And as we've watched everything unfold and the reactions, I'm just kind of, Tate's not here right now, and he's 9, and I'm just going to share some of his reaction, and then I'm going to let the girls kind of just speak and share their thoughts and everything on it. But Tate's 9, and how he processes all of this is he wants answers. So he asks question after question after question, and he just does not understand. And I try to answer the questions the best that I can, but for many of the questions that he's asking, I don't have the answers. He, as a 9-year-old boy who is full of love and zero judgment, he doesn't understand why anyone would treat anyone like this and why people should be treated differently. He doesn't understand racism. He doesn't understand prejudice. He doesn't understand privilege. He just understands life, and people are people. And my wish, my desire, my hope is that I see a change in my lifetime. And my hope is that my children can take action and can be part of this change. Now, it's interesting how everything just kind of shows up, and I feel like I probably have, I don't know, I've gained so much information over the last couple of weeks, and the timing of all this has just been interesting to me as I'm reading just about one person's interpretation of racism and how she truly believes there's 3 types of racists. There's racists who are aware that they're racist and they don't care. They strongly believe in their opinions. There's racists who have a little bit of racism in them and they recognize that and they're trying to do whatever they can to get it out of them. And then there's racists who have racism in them but are in complete denial of it. And this is really, I read this earlier this week and it's really stuck with me. And her example was growing up, she used to watch the news. And when she would watch the news with the war against drugs and, anything on the news, it was always Black people that were portrayed as the criminals, the bad guys. And then after the news, she would watch cops. And, you think about the cities that show was taped in. And all of the criminals were, the majority of them, I'm not going to say all, but the majority of them were low income black men, for the most part. And that has, like, it's put racism in people because it's conditioned people to believe and to associate bad and crimes to black people. And it was just a really interesting view of it, I guess. And it's made me really look inside of myself and think about the things that I grew up with and the ways I've been conditioned and what I've done to change those conditions and those, views and images and all of that. And I truly, truly think that leading with love and receiving love and giving love is the best thing that we can do right now. And to just have open arms and have so much support. But for me, it's educating myself. Because when Tate asked me these questions, and some of these questions nobody has answers to, like, why would somebody treat somebody like that? And while there isn't a right answer for that question, we can trace it back and we can teach him, why people have these opinions and teach him how wrong it is. So there's so much that I need to do to educate myself, and I need to be asking more questions, and I need to be learning, and I also need to be understanding and loving as we go through not only this right now that we're going through that's so real and so raw, but when, and I hate to say this, but when this fades and when it quiets down and when media, has a new distraction to take away from this, we can't stop learning then, and we can't stop loving then, and we can't stop fighting then. So this is just something that I know our family is being very proactive about right now, but also making a commitment that it's something that we continue to learn about and we continue to educate ourselves and others about and kind of grow through, here on out. Now, one of the activities when I was learning about or reading about the different types of racists that there are was a challenge and a question to close your eyes and think about a criminal. When you think of a bad person or when you think of a criminal, what does that person look like? And, the challenge was that the government and media and all of that conditions us to think it was a black person. And I actually asked the girls to do it, and they both said, when I think of a criminal, and I didn't tell them why I was asking them this, but I just said, if you guys were to close your eyes and think of a criminal or a bad person, what would that person look like? And both of them said, we imagine a creepy old white guy when they think of a criminal. And it made me smile and it made me feel more love because, like I said, I think there's a lot of work we can do as an individual, but to truly make change, we need to be having these conversations and educating our kids. So today's conversation with kids is just going to be real and raw. I encourage you all to have conversations with your kids, ask them questions, have them ask you questions. Know that you don't need to know all the answers, and sometimes them asking you questions makes you ask other questions. And know that it's okay to say, I don't know, but let's learn together. Let's ask other people who might know this. Let's, watch some things that might teach us this. Let's read some books that might teach us this. Let's go to our mentors that are living this and experiencing this. So we're just going to kind of open it up. I don't have any questions to guide this. I don't know what the girls are going to say. I don't know how talkative they're going to want to be. but we just want to have this open conversation. So, which one of you wants to start? All right, Maya's pointing at Ella. So go ahead, Elle.
Well,
So just share your heart.
I think it's just like horrible that people are like, because there's literally no difference between someone that has like a different skin color than you. Like, it doesn't affect how smart they are, it doesn't affect how they act, it doesn't like affect their personality or whatever. And I just think it's crazy that people like just immediately assume these like bad things about them. Like that, I just don't understand like why that's just a horrible thing. And I feel like a lot of people do it, and that's so sad. Like that's just like stuck in their minds almost. Like, I don't know.
Have you experienced conversations with your friends where you've noticed racism amongst like friends and just conversations you've had? Have you seen it or experienced it at all?
Well, yeah, like I guess at school. Well, this isn't with like. Well, there's like a few like Asians that go to my school.
Yeah.
And people are just like always make jokes about how like smart they are and stuff,
So the
which
stereotypes
is
that
like
come
a
along
different
with
kind
race.
of racism.
Yeah, no,
It's just like
absolutely.
stereotyping them like that, and then like, yeah, I don't know. Or like if we're going somewhere and we like see someone and they have like darker skin, or like they're just like walking around, someone will be like, "Oh, look, there's like a homeless person or something," which is just like a assumption. Like, that's just like, I think that is mainly based on how they look,
Mm-hmm.
and because of their skin color, it makes it like, yeah, I don't know, makes sense to them.
So, how does all of this make you feel? Like, we don't watch much news, but you guys are both on social media, and that's probably where you consume most of your news and all of that. How does it make you feel as a person to see all of this happening and everything?
It makes me feel like so sad that just people are like this, and especially with like the recent stuff going on, that people like assume the worst about people, and it just eventually leads to them like dying, and that's just like really sad.
It's just sad that people can treat people this way.
Exactly, and they think of them as like less than them, like
Right.
that they don't deserve to be the same as them.
And I think for me, like, I hear people saying, like, I don't see color, or like, I understand or whatever. And I think recognizing that there is a difference and not being in denial, but there is a difference between the way black people and white people are treated. No matter what, just because of their skin color, there is a difference. And we can say it's not fair and it's not right, but at the end of the day there's still a difference, and I think we need to recognize that, and we need to talk about that, and then we need to be part of that change. So for you, what does it mean to be part of that change? Like, what can you do to bring it so everybody's treated equally, everybody's loved equally, everybody's respected equally?
Well, I know that I personally can just treat everyone that I like meet just like with love, and like, just be like the best like person I can be to them, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
And then I feel like just like getting the word out still, I think that is really cool, like the whole social media thing, and I think that made a big statement. And then like, yeah, like I don't know. I just feel like it just has to start with like, if everyone just did something little, it can make it like a big
Absolutely.
difference.
And just having these conversations too,
Mm-hmm.
and in learning more,
And making you more like aware of the problem.
right, instead of denying it and saying there isn't a problem, or when it does get quiet and it's not, all over social media, like still taking action and being
Yeah,
part of the
and like what you
solution.
said, like when it kind of like goes away, like it's not gonna go away, but like just not be like the center of attention like it is right now. Like, I feel like that is very real, because before this, like I knew that it still existed, but I didn't really think that it existed where I lived, or like anywhere like here, whatever. But then like when this all happened, it made me realize that it was like going on like
Everywhere.
Yeah, like even where we live.
Yeah, everywhere. And yeah, it's horrible. So, Maya, what are your thoughts on all of it?
Well, even when Tay was just asking me about it, I was like, there's no way to explain it. It's like people just feel differently than we do, and like I don't know, like yeah, like there's no really way to describe it.
Go ahead.
I think a lot of it has to do, like how we don't have answers. I think a lot of it has to do with when back, like when America was first, like, you know, like the 13
So no,
colonies
Ella
and
knows.
everything,
Ella knows
where
like
they,
a lot of the history with this, which is
well,
actually pretty
when
cool.
they still had slavery and stuff, and then I think a lot of this now is coming from, so they abolished it, right, and then everything, and then these people just started like hating them for being equal to them, you know, because they like had in their mind, they like justified it as them like supposed, like they had to like do this, that was their purpose on earth, to just like be like lesser than like white people and just work for them and, you know, like be like slaves. And I think like just that, like, and like the all like the white supremacy groups that came after that, I think that just like got passed down generation after generation. And I think the people that really do hate them are the people's ancestors who were like, this, like, I don't want, like, I'm pro slavery or whatever. And like I think it's not their fault that they're like this, but like it's their fault that they're not trying to change.
Well, right. Like, I mean, we're all conditioned. Like, I mean, I can tell you, my grandmother was very racist. And I remember some of the things she would say and in conversations and her viewpoint. And it, even as a little kid, I remember not understanding it and it not feeling good. But she was so strong in her beliefs. And even though I disagreed with it, like I still heard those words and I heard those conversations. And where I made the choice to educate myself and to think differently and to truly look at people and love people for who they are, it's still like it's handed down to you, it's embedded in your heads. And there are some people who are making the choice not to change, whereas there's people that have made the choice to change. And it's funny because I made the choice to change, and the conversations I've had with my kids and their viewpoints are validation of my true beliefs, just like most kids are. Their viewpoints are validations of their parents' beliefs.
And that's one of the most like sad things, because like it's not their fault the way that they are, but it's also, it's like almost even more sad that they're choosing to stay that way and not change.
Exactly. Like, and I think that's the hardest part. Like, you know, we can be told different things, but at the end of the day, no matter what you've been told, open your eyes. Like, I think every single person can see that what is going on right now is wrong. Like, there's nothing right about what's going on right now. And I think that's what we need to focus on. Like, if I don't know, there's no justifying any of it. It is so wrong. And I think we need to focus on what is right and focus on doing right, because there's so much wrong about this. So no matter what you were conditioned to believe, or what your thoughts are, like, open your eyes and see how wrong this is, and let's do things the right way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Maya, go ahead. Anything else that you want to talk? Maya, we cut you off. I'm sorry.
Well, even at school, like all of my friends, like they are all just like white. Like I have a couple of like just like white friends, but they're like
You're a
they're
very
all,
diverse
yeah.
person.
Like, I'm like not. I don't like just like these one type of person. And I don't know. I just like I feel like it's really bad. Just like that is all happening.
Now, Maya is like, I'm sitting here fighting tears back right now, looking at Maya, hearing Maya. Maya is like, she's love, and she is fierce, and she's wild, and doesn't she does not live in a box whatsoever. You cannot put Maya in a box. Maya moves at her own beat. She does her own thing, and she has the strongest beliefs in the world. And her beliefs are right and wrong. There's like she's just so like, if as her mom, I can try to push Maya in a direction to be nice or respectful to somebody. And if she sees like this person not treating other people with respect, Maya's just like, no, I can't be their friend. Like, I cannot force this, and you're not going to make me be polite to them if they're treating others unfairly. And you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Telling me to like give them another chance, or like chance, but I just like don't want to because they were like being rude, or they were like, I don't know, disrespecting me in a way that I just like I just don't like.
Right. Maya's all about like treating people with respect. And it starts with her. She demands people to treat her with respect. And then when she sees other people like being mean or, not treating them with respect, Maya's the first one to fight for them. And she is the first one to call people out. And she is brutally honest with people. Now, it's funny because first Tate went to Maya asking Maya questions.
It's horrible.
And then he went to Ella asking Ella questions. And then both of the girls came to me telling me about the questions he was asking, and we were able to answer his questions. And I love that the kids feel comfortable going to each other. And a lot of the times they can answer it and explain it in a different way. But Maya, specifically over the last 24 hours, this has upset you. This has shaken you.
Well, yeah, even yesterday on our way to go run, Tay was just like, Maya, why are they doing this? Because he was, looking over my phone and I saw, Instagram posts about it. He was like, Maya, why are they doing this? This is so bad. What's the point of it? And I'm just like, you can't explain it.
Because it hurts. It hurts. And you guys don't understand. So you guys are just seeing the wrong that's going on. You see that this is so wrong. And you see the evil in all of it, and it makes you sick. And it's okay to be sad from it. It's okay to be hurt. And I think that's the biggest thing. If you see this, feel these feelings, feel these emotions. You are a human that sees everything going wrong in the world right now. And in pretending that you don't see what's wrong is staying silent. And that's contributing to the problem. But sharing your emotions, sharing your heart, and sharing your love, that's taking action. You have to feel this. You have to recognize it. So it's okay. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be shaken. Does it scare you? Why does it scare you?
I don't know, just because, to think that people would do that to another person when they weren't doing, anything about, I don't really know what he was doing, but, to kill him, it's just, bad.
It's horrible.
I know, but, still, he would have just, gone to jail, or whatever, he didn't have to die.
Yeah, there's no justifying the behavior. I don't care what he did. There's no justifying the behavior to treat another human like that. Mm-hmm. And I think so it's sad. It's scary. It's confusing, right? Because there are no answers. But this is what we're living in. And, you guys have friends of all races. We probably, I think one thing that I take so much pride in as a mom and as a family is we truly love people for who they are. And we have such a diverse group of friends and such a diverse group of mentors. And, we may, be, and I hate to say this, but we may fit the mold of privileged white people. And I don't feel like we're privileged, but we are compared to others. And we need to recognize that. We need to understand that just because we were born white, we're privileged in ways. And just because we're, and I hate that. Like, I hate that those words even came out of my mouth, but it's true. And that's the reality we need to face. And these are the conversations that we need to have. And it's not just, oh yeah, that's a shame, or I don't know, like we need to have these deep conversations, and we need to feel it. And I think that's like, I have so much respect for Maya because she reminds me that we need to feel this. We don't just need to recognize that it's wrong and try to do what's right, but we need to feel it. And it's okay to feel it. So, what else do you guys have to add? Anything?
I also think it's really important to remember that, I mean, mainly it's focused on like black people, like, and how, like, all that. But it's also like everyone of a different skin color. Like they have just as hard of a time, and even though they're not like in the spotlight as being like such a minority right now, like it's still true. Like even in like jobs, like every day they have to like face this like thing, and they have no say in it. It's just they were born into it.
It's because of the way they look, or because of what they were born into. I mean, and it's privilege comes in a lot of different ways. Like there's certain people that are just born, into a family, and automatically they have more privilege. There's certain people that are afforded different things and have more privilege. But then there's race is definitely affords you more or less privilege. And it's still very much so. I mean, we have a lot of friends and people that we take in as family. We kind of make our friends family that are brown, that are black, that, are lesbians, that are gay. Like for us, love truly is love. And that was something very important for me to just as a person. That's something that's important to me. And I think it is important to grow up this way as well and to continue to have these conversations. And I think that's where we make the change, like I said, through our kids.
And like I ultimately just feel bad for the people that are like what is it? Sorry, I can't think of what I just. I like feel bad for the people that don't have the same like views as like everyone's equal. Like I just feel bad for them because like I don't know.
Well, they're missing out on so much. Like,
well, not even that. They're just awful people,
well,
and they don't even realize it.
Right.
I just feel so bad for them.
Right. And that's what we kind of like. I feel bad for them because they're missing out on so much love, because if you can't love everyone and others, you're missing out on so much love yourself. But at the same time, like, just I feel bad that that's their mindset and that's their way of life and their view. Like, I don't know. I don't understand it. And I do feel bad. I feel bad if it's something that's been ingrained in their head and that's just who they are.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mai? No? You okay? Yeah. They're not. So this is a very unplugged, candid conversation. I just want to kind of go back and say this is just a mom talking to her 2 teen daughters about what's going on. And the first thing that I said at the beginning was, I don't have all the answers. There's a lot that I don't know about. And my number one goal is to educate myself more, and encourage my kids to continue to ask questions and educate themselves and educate others as well. And then just lean into friends and mentors that are living this right now and are going through this. And my hope is that every human being, everybody with a heart, with a working heart that beats can recognize that what is going on is wrong, and every single person can try to do what's right. That is my hope, that is my wish, and that is my goal. Thank you guys for sharing and being open and honest to not only have this conversation together as a family, but to share it with everyone that will listen as well.